So why would Reed lie? The same reason why he lied to me. He wants to impress people with accomplishments he's never fucking earned. Same reason why he lied to my Marine brother Saint, who also called him out on his bullshit. Same reason why he lied to this girl to get into her pants. He claimed all this stuff to
Sick.
her. There's no job like this in the military. And if you look down here, it looks like there's no lengths that he won't go to get in someone's pants.
So apparently Read Choi, the TikTok influencer who's like 70% celibacy, 20% gym lighting, and 10% Bible quotes that he found on Pinterest, is not actually the Virgin Mary with a fade. Try to contain your shock. If you don't know him, I didn't know him. He's this creator who built his platform preaching abstinence while looking like he's permanently posing for a gym thirst trap. Come to find out, he's out here allegedly lying about women who rejected him, lying about military service, and so much more. Because nothing says I walk with God like making up fan fiction about someone who said no, or making yourself a knight in shining armor when you're really a loser in aluminum foil. Welcome back to Influencer Insanity. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, please make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button, give the bell a few kisses so you're not missing any of this content designed to help you with your mental health or help you help someone else. In this series, I dissect influencer nonsense with the precision of a forensic tech, but with the sarcasm of someone who has just seen too much internet at this point. It's inspired by the movie Idiocracy, but unfortunately, this is not fiction. The deeper I got into this story, the more it felt like a psychology final project that was written by the devil out of boredom. So today I'm pointing out the idiocracy of the Read Choi scandal, the alleged lies, the bizarre purity branding, the unhinged influencer behavior, and the psychology behind why guys like this think they are God's chosen PR interns. All right, so who is Read Choi besides a man that talks about temptation like it's a Marvel supervillain that's just out to completely destroy his career? So Reed's entire brand is I'm pure, I'm celibate, I'm the protagonist of God's rom-com. So let me show you what I mean with a video.
Took another vow of celibacy. I don't know if I told you
Oh.
about that. So, movies get delayed all the time. I was supposed to be filming a movie in New York, but it got delayed because the production company wasn't able to get a certain crucial set that they needed to without divulging too many details. And so it got delayed. And when that happened, it was a bummer, but I also chose to make it a catalyst or use it as motivation to make myself better. And so I was like, why don't I do another vow of celibacy?
On the surface, this seems pretty innocent if you choose to be celibate for self-improvement, for enlightenment, because it's going to in some way improve your life. I love that for you. I'm not here to shame that at all. But it just seems like this man announces celibacy the way most people announce engagements or the arrival of a baby or something. So it just seems kind of off right from the get-go. And he kind of acts like God personally FaceTimes him every morning to say, "Good morning, my disciplined special boy." So I feel a little weirded out by this content, and maybe that's because I'm an atheist and I don't typically watch Christian content, so I don't know if this kind of stuff is normal. I know that purity content is normal, but I don't know if this kind of behavior and this kind of cadence is something that is normalized in the purity circles. I just feel like, yes, purity influencers aren't new, but I feel like Reed just took it to Olympic levels. I feel like he took it way above and beyond anything I've ever heard of or seen when it comes to this movement, this circle. It's like he took something as sacred as celibacy and turned it into a merch line. He turned it into another influencer trend, and that just gives me the ick. Like, imagine being super horny, but also being so sanctimonious that you decide to turn it into content. But as always, influencer branding ages about as well as milk left in a hot car. Soon enough, the cracks started to show of this bastion of Christian excellence. Enter the staccato situation, or as I like to call it, the night purity died. So allegedly, at this influencer event, Reed asked a woman if she wanted to sleep with him. Okay, Virgin King, go off. She said no because, well, obviously this is a bad situation and a bad idea. And then allegedly, again, allegedly, he decided to go around the event and start telling people that she did sleep with him, and then also telling them that she slept with multiple other guys as well. Holy crap, like literally, this is holy fecal matter. And the wildest part about this is he wasn't just whispering rumors into the void. He wasn't just talking about this one girl. People are actually documenting his behavior as this whole scandal is going on. So there's this girl that he dated, which seems seems to be one in about a billion, but there's this girl that he dated, Gina. Bless Gina. She showed up with a literal folder of screenshots and receipts and timestamps like she was trying to get into the FBI. She's out here doing community service hours that absolutely nobody assigned to her. And there was an 8-part series where she was telling the story of her experience with Read, and I am just sharing one of those. I will link her TikTok below if you want to get more tea on the situation, but there was, I believe, 8 parts to it, plus a bunch of other videos where she answered questions and elaborated, but I just want to share this specific video for context.
Part 3. Now we're in this group chat and we're comparing timelines and lies. After meeting Michelle, he decides to dump Paula, saying that his grandmother might have cancer. She didn't. After Michelle found that TikTok, she dumped Read. The next few months, he starts working with a very big TikToker from the Philippines. You guys know who she is? I'll just call her Ashley. He and Ashley start liking each other and they start seriously talking. So about 3 months have passed and now we're in August. Read randomly shows up to Michelle's place with a promise ring, asking her for a second chance, and she takes him back. So now he has a girlfriend, he's talking to Ashley, and then he meets me. Now we didn't date in August, but our flirty on-camera chemistry made viral videos like the Yakuza series. Michelle was really concerned because she was afraid that he would cheat on her with me. But he told her that I knew that he had a girlfriend. I didn't. He never said anything. But now that he has me, he doesn't need Ashley's following anymore, so he ended it with her, but saying, let's not close the book yet.
So booty call.
So let's add Clout Chaser to his list of sins.
Of course, Read starts popping back with a bunch of response videos calling it all lies, trying to defend himself, and this man's denial is fighting for its life while Gina is sitting there flipping through evidence like page 12, subsection B, paragraph 4. She practically brought a binder thick enough to qualify for a college textbook titled Read Choi, Advanced Studies in Delusion and Deception.
Yeah, I dated that same big TikToker, and it's about time I come out and tell you guys what a terrible person he is and stop supporting him. I just want to say that I've been in entertainment for 11 years. A lot of you already know who I am, and I've never spoken publicly about anyone that I've dated. But I have to do this one because it involves lying, manipulation, STDs, putting women at risk, and racism, and not to mention misogyny. Reed and I met 6 months ago in August, but we only started dating the last 2 months. We broke up 2 weeks ago. He dumped me because he said I had trust issues. His whole career, he's always said that he's a good man. Loyalty, integrity, morals, honor, all that. He preached it so hard, especially in the last 2 weeks since our breakup. 3 days ago, he was on Instagram Live, sad, singing sad songs that he wrote about our breakup, being all heartbroken and disheveled. Well, tonight we went to a drive-in theater with all of our TikTok friends, and he happened to show up. By some miracle of God, my car gets parked right behind his. But when I pulled up, I saw a second shadow in his passenger seat.
I think this video is important because a lot of people will immediately jump to maybe these girls are just making it up. Maybe they have a history of being dishonest and trying to just get attention. And I think it's important that Gina, along with these other girls, don't have a history of trying to make up scandal or trying to involve themselves in scandal to get attention. So not only did he allegedly lie about the hookup, but he was also lying to multiple girls that he was preying on dating apps in front of people who had PowerPoint level documentation and witnesses ready to go. So the first part is textbook insecurity-driven narrative control. He feels rejected, so he's rewriting his reality to heal his ego and to pretend that it never happened. Classic compensatory behavior, zero self-awareness, zero taking accountability. This is all predatory, plain and simple. He's using his religious persona to gain trust and then taking advantage of a plethora of women. But I find it ironic that he built his personality around resisting temptation, and it's like, my brother, you didn't resist temptation. Temptation resisted you. Now let's talk about the STD rumors that are circling online. Look, I don't know his medical records. I wasn't there. I remember I sold sex toys for a living for a brief stint, and it was always the most religious people that would buy the freakiest stuff, and I would often see hyper-religious marriages or relationships crumble under cheating scandals. It was a very frequent occurrence. But nothing travels faster than STD allegations about a man who claims that he's celibate.
It was never between just Read Choi and Gina. It was Read Choi, Gina, and like 5 other women that got chlamydia, plus or minus 2. And the reason I personally know that, before Read Choi got exposed for spreading chlamydia knowingly, I had already clocked him with this cringy content that had misogynistic and racist undertones. And I had been saying, this is a scam of a man Ladies, I know he's thirst trapping you, but be aware. And then one of the girls that got chlamydia from Read Choi contacted me and said, I wish I had come across your videos before I met this guy, because I was with him during these dates and I got chlamydia. And then I said, wait a minute, what dates? Because I knew Gina had full launched her relationship with Read Choi around those dates. And it just so happened that Gina was contacting me and also saying, you were right about Read Choi. And then I said, actually, you need to compare your notes with this girl, because the timelines of when you two were together and when he was with her are overlapping. And then that girl was like, actually, I know another girl. And then Gina was like, wait, I'm getting more DMs from other women that got chlamydia from this man. And Read Choi did not tell any single one of these ladies that he had chlamydia when he knew he had it. Because one of the girls already said to him, I think you gave me chlamydia. You're the only one I've been with. And he said, I'm sorry. But from that date of acknowledgement, he never let the other ladies know. The women figured it out by talking to each other. That Read Choi was not only cheating on them, but giving each one of them chlamydia and not letting them know. And untreated chlamydia poses significant dangers for women, primarily by causing pelvic inflammatory disease, which can lead to chronic pelvic pain and infertility. And these were all women in their 20s that had not yet had a child.
I really appreciate that she took not only the time to explain the scandal itself, but to explain why, yes, even though chlamydia is probably the most treatable of the STDs, you go and you take some medicine and it clears it up. Untreated, it can be very serious, and not everyone would be educated enough to know the symptoms of it. They might just think they have a yeast infection or something, or they might not understand how serious it could be. So him not telling someone or him not going and getting treated himself is really sketchy at best. Like, the irony here is so thick that you could spread it on toast. And that's the thing. Women weren't just finding out that he wasn't celibate. They're finding out that he's allegedly juggling them and passing them an STD like it's communion. If your whole brand is I don't have sex, it's pretty unfortunate when the entire internet starts speed running chlamydia conspiracy theories. Psychologically, this is what we call the purity paradox. The more someone celebrates their abstinence, the more suspicious I become. I'm not saying that you can't be grateful, that you can't be proud of your abstinence, but when it comes off like this, it's a little suspicious. It's kind of like if someone's saying, yep, I'm definitely absolutely 100% sober, I'm probably gonna check their glove box. If someone is really over the top homophobic, somebody probably needs to check the browser history. Then we get to the famous Read Choi defense video, which I'm not gonna play all of because it's like 8 minutes long, but I do want to share a key pieces of it.
Hey guys, it has come to my attention that a lot of people are lying about me on the internet and making false accusations and horrible allegations against me, and I wanted to make this video to address those allegations. Originally, I wasn't going to say anything, much like I've had in the past, because I've kind of gotten used to people lying about me. But I'm done. I'm done with the lies. I'm done with the hate. I'm done with the physical threats of violence. I just want to move on. And so I'm making this video. Let's start with the lowest hanging fruit. Stolen valor. People are accusing me that I lied about being in the military. That's actually really easy to disprove because not only do I have a DD-214, but I also have all my medical documents. So I'm not going to make you go through my whole medical document, and I'm not going to show my DD-214 because it has all my sensitive information on there. But I'll point you to this. I got medically separated for a heart arrhythmia called prolonged QT or LQTS.
Oh yes, the document dump, the medical files, the heartfelt monologue. He's basically saying, everyone's lying, I didn't really say that. She came to my hotel room and here's my medical paperwork. Now I know that there were several allegations that he was addressing, and I'll get to a couple of others here in a moment, but you're accused of lying about sleeping with someone. And your response is to say, hey, look, I have a heart condition. Were you trying to get sympathy points? That's like getting pulled over by a cop for speeding and telling the cop, you know what, I have a vitamin D deficiency. What? That doesn't help your case. It's not relevant. This is a weird roundabout appeal to authority fallacy that it's honestly making me gag a little. Then at the end of the video, I won't even subject you to this, but at the end of the video, he thanked his followers for supporting him during this trying time. Trying for who? The women you allegedly lied about? The public? God? Like, who is this trying for? Because it's not you, sir. This video is a perfect example of deflection and martyr complex. Instead of actually addressing his behavior, he reframes himself as the victim. This protects his ego, it maintains his purity identity, and it shifts the blame outward to everyone else. This is everyone else's problem, this is everybody else's fault. And if he truly believes that he is God's soldier, as he says in many of his videos, then he's also interpreting criticism as persecution, which is pretty convenient if you ask me. Then, he decides that he's gonna go do some good old humanitarian PR work.
She kicked homeless ass. Look at how good Martha looks. So, I've been helping this homeless lady out for the past year. And when I first met her, we were both at rock bottom, and I was only helping her to make myself feel better, to say, hey, you're a good person. Gosh. I was in a rough place. I just got canceled, and I was about to get canceled again for helping her. But it's okay. I love it. But I realized that there was more that I could do. That with great power comes great responsibility. And so I raised $20,000, cha-ching, and we got her a motel. Spreading the love like I spread a chlamydia. Here's her reaction.
Oh my God. I feel special.
I know some people might disagree with me, but I actually don't think that it's inherently wrong to post altruistic videos on the internet, because I have seen firsthand how it can inspire people, it can give them ideas of things that they can do, and I think that it's a net positive. And even if it is feeding your ego a little bit, you're still doing the good deeds, you're still doing these kind of actions, so I don't think it's necessarily bad by default. I talk on my streams about the things that we do with our Patreon funds, because all of my Patreon goes to my mental health outreach, so I like to share the things and sometimes share pictures in the community about the things that we have done, because everyone is giving money toward this cause and I want them to know where that's going. And because I've gotten a lot of messages of people who were inspired by that work and decided to go out and do mental health outreach work of their own. Influencers, however, love using charity as like an emotional freeze. They just spray it on top of the scandal and hope that nobody notices the smell. Raising money for Martha, as nice and kind of a gesture as that was, doesn't make the accusations disappear. It just makes you look like you're doing a PR speedrun. Well, I have to say that in the midst of all of this muck, it was nice to see something good come out of it. It kind of reminded me of the story of Scotty. If you guys don't know, if you haven't been around here long enough, I had helped a man about 13 years ago now, who became a really good friend of mine. He was homeless when I met him. He was a veteran. I helped get him in off the streets, helped adopt a couple of dogs for him. When he passed away, I took in the dog. The other one had passed before him, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful story. I loved being friends with him. I shared that in the community, and I've gotten stories of people who tell me about them finding their own Scotty and connecting with their own Scotty, and that's really beautiful. But the plot thickens, okay? The plot thickens.
You guys remember this guy, Read Choi, right? Well, now it's personal. Totally separate from knowingly giving girls chlamydia, after he got canceled, he came back and tried to use his platform to show the world that he changed by helping a homeless lady named Martha. Using his platform, he got people to donate $20,000 for Martha. Now, where's the money, Read? I, giving him the benefit of the doubt, donated a large sum of money to be used for Martha. I messaged Read over a week ago asking him what he did with the money, and he left me on red, no pun intended. If it turns out that you actually gave Martha the $20,000 before I posted this video, I will personally fly over to LA and apologize in front of you. Until then, I will email every company that you did a paid collaboration with and let them know what you did.
I feel like this guy would not make a claim, a very public claim, that he is willing to fly to Los Angeles to personally apologize, or he's willing, I'm sure, to publicly apologize, but Read can't give any information of what happened to the money, which you'd think that he'd at least respond back and say, hey, thanks so much for the donation, here's what we're doing with it. But there's just nothing, just leaves them on red. This is the collateral damage of parasocial purity branding. People donate because they believe the persona, the noble celibate protector of orphans and widows and whatever, but when the persona cracks, real people lose money. Real people have their trust damaged. And if you think that the purity claims were the only exaggerations and lies, and the Martha situation was just a misunderstanding of some sort, well, welcome to the extended version. And I know this one is really going to get to a lot of people in my community. This is really gonna upset a lot of people. So he lied about military service. And in the video where he made his response, his apology, if you can call it that, it's not an apology, but where he made this statement, this public statement, he was trying to show proof of his military service with his forms. And I am not terribly qualified to speak on this. So I'm going to let a veteran explain this part of the situation just to give reference.
About Read Choi's military service. My name is Young. I've been a combat medic for about 12 years in the Army, and I think I'm particularly uniquely qualified to talk about this. So let's get into it. So this is a DD-214 form that Reed supplied. Reed claims that he couldn't show the rest of the information because it's all sensitive or classified information, right? What sensitive information? This is my DD-214. A DD-214 is used to either get a job or get your VA benefits. So I don't know what's so classified or secret about that. Here, take a look. The DD-214 will tell you when you came into the military, how long you served for, and when you left. And the reason why you separated. Also, it'll tell you whether you can re-enlist or not. And also your character of service, which mine is thankfully honorable. And characterization of service is the most important part of the DD-214. There's a couple of subsects, but 4 are the main ones. So honorable is the best one. That means you completed everything within your duties. General usually means that you failed out of a school or just couldn't adapt to military life. And other than honorable and dishonorable, you just don't want those. Keep away from those. And getting a general discharge isn't anything to be ashamed of. It just means you just couldn't complete the course or your body failed you. Unless you're lying about completing boot camp. So I wonder how he got through MEPS, which is the military entrance processing station, where they would have given him the most thorough evaluation of his life, including multiple EKGs. And once you get past through MEPS and you get to your boot, the only way that you're going to get an EKG is if you continuously complain. And the reason that I'm so pissed off about Reed is that we've talked before. I met him. And he told me he was a SWIFT crew member, which is a swift watercraft. Basically, just one step below the SEALs.
Oh,
Special Operations Forces.
oh my god, no, he wasn't.
Immediately try to get my respect. So you're telling me that you went through MEPS, you went through boot camp, and you got to your A school, and then you got to SWIC, and they never found out about your long QT till now? That's insane. So why would Reed lie? The same reason why he lied to me. He wants to impress people with accomplishments he's never fucking earned. Same reason why he lied to my Marine brother Saint, who also called him out on his bullshit. Same reason why he lied to this girl to get into her pants. He claimed all this stuff
Sick.
to her. There's no job like this in the military. And if you look down here, it looks like there's no lengths that he won't go to get in someone's pants. Listen, Reed, I want to be proven wrong, dude. I want you to just come up with some evidence, man. And I want to believe it. Let me see a picture of you in your uniform. Your A school graduation photo, your DD-214.
things.
I need that, man. I need to just see the characterization of service. You could take out everything but your name. I don't care about nothing besides your characterization of service and how long you served. I really don't want to believe that you're lying.
When a veteran has to literally just kind of take a break from his life to say, hey man, please stop lying about serving, you know that your credibility is bankrupt. This is disgusting. This is dystopian. My dad proudly served, all right? I know that there are many here in my community that proudly served, and I very frequently say, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you to this gentleman for his sacrifice, but to Read Choi, sir, how fucking dare you? How dare you? This has angered me more than I can put into words. Who does this? Like he said, someone who wanted to impress people, someone who wanted to get in a girl's pants. Are you kidding me? You are lying about military service to get in a girl's pants. So he wasn't just building a purity brand, okay? He was building the Read Choi cinematic universe of heroic delusions is what he was doing, and spitting on the men and women who literally died serving this country in the process of trying to get clout on TikTok. Okay. I want to breathe, take a breath. Okay. I'm putting on the psych major goggles fully, okay? And I just want to kind of real quick go through some of the psychological patterns I'm seeing in Read Choi's behavior. First of all, we have moral grandstanding. So this is when somebody markets their morality to gain social capital. Think of it like moral flexing. And it's like, look at me, I'm so disciplined, I'm so celibate, I'm such a God-fearing person. Sir, you literally posted your celibacy like a gym PR. You got called out and then didn't have the morals to do the right thing and take accountability. You have narcissistic spotlight syndrome, which is kind of like main character syndrome because influencers often believe they're the exception to every rule, that they're the chosen one. In his case, literally by God. He thinks that he's literally the chosen one by God, that he is the main character of humanity. And he really reads like God just gave him a loyalty badge. We have halo effect manipulation. So that's when people trust attractive influencers who preach morality. So his branding wasn't accidental. It was very strategic. It was very intentional. It was very predatory. Then there's cognitive dissonance. Look, you can't claim I'm this example of morality and celibacy and then allegedly lie about hooking up with people. So the brain either has to distort reality, deny wrongdoing, blame others, or play the victim. He chose door number 4. Then there's the sexual shame equaling the secret chaos. Purity culture creates repression. Repression creates obsession. Obsession creates hypocrisy. Hypocrisy creates content, and here we are. As an atheist watching this unfold, I have to say that I find it a little amusing that this influencer is using God as a human shield, but at the same time, I clearly see that this is not an accurate representation of a good Christian, of Christianity, or of someone who takes purity seriously. But he is positioning himself as a face of Christianity, as a face of purity, and unfortunately, thousands, actually millions of people are going to see him as that on social media because there's no gatekeeper. There's no one saying, hey, this person isn't actually who they say they are. This person doesn't have the credibility or the documentation to be who they're presenting themselves as. There's nothing on social media that really stops people from just pretending that they're all kinds of things. Read Choi acts like God is his personal HR department, and he's saying, people are attacking me because I'm pure and I'm righteous and I'm a Christian. No, my dude, people are attacking you because you allegedly lied about who you had sex with, like a middle schooler with a crush and a fragile ego. You got caught lying about military service. You ripped people off, and you were generally just an amoeba on a flea's ballsack. So what have we learned here today? Well, one is thou shalt not trust influencers who aggressively market their morality. It always ends with lies, hypocrisy, and some weird apology featuring medical paperwork. Two, purity culture creates a lot more chaos than it prevents in a lot of situations. It always has. And for more proof of this, just look at the teen pregnancy rates in the states that have abstinence-only schooling education. And three, this entire situation is a beautiful case study on the psychology of ego, repression, and influencer delusion. If Read Choi is truly God's strongest soldier, then I think it might be time for God to consider drafting, because this guy is a predator, he's a con artist, and this is why I hate social media. This is why I feel like I have to put on full-blown hazmat suit every time I log on, every time I find myself in the trenches. This is why I created Influencer Idiocracy, because we are barreling toward being cast in a movie that was supposed to be fiction, but moves closer and closer to being a documentary every single day. So this channel was created to give people a safe space to talk about their mental health, to educate on some situations that might be going on that affect mental health. So I do want to remind you that good, bad, and crazy, the comment section is yours to be sharing not only what you think about this particular idiocracy situation, this particular scandal, but also to share if you have been victimized and you need a safe place to discuss that and have community that cares about you, or if you have any other mental health story that you would like to share. Please make sure that you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. You never know who might need to see it. There might be other people who have been victimized who are needing that safe place to go to talk about it with other people who care and will hold space for them. Let me know what other topic you think I should cover in Influencer Idiocracy. That is all for today. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon. Mwah.